drizzling, so we're going to do this a little fast. But this tomato got a little dry with all the heat that we had, and this is how the green stock looks. Everything here on this side looks okay too. We have silver slice with cucumber in there, and there are some other female flowers. I was not here, so didn't have a chance to pollinate it, so hopefully they got pollinated by bees. Here's our red wine. I think it's looking right. You actually have a few more tomatoes. Looking over there, we got some, it's supposed to look looking pretty big. We have some more growing all around. Here. This one is Cherokee purple. Also starting to grow. The cauliflower here did grow a lot compared to last week, but it's starting to get yellow, so I'm going to go ahead and harvest this after this video, after filming this. And then this is the squash. I harvested the big squash from that little spot over there. It was so big when I got home last night that it was that night, but I was afraid it was going to go even bigger if I left overnight, so I decided to go ahead and harvest it. And okra, looking good over there. Everyone is, this image is really good, really big. Yeah, down here we have this, it's a little hard to hold, atomic grapes. This one is starting to blush, so hopefully I'll be able to pick it up soon. That is to leave it to ripen the color. Those guys here are starting to set some fruit too. Now this plant here got really dry, and there's a lot of tomatoes in there, but it had to be heavily pruned. My neighbor actually helped me doing that while I was gone. She said it was all dead and brown here, so that happened in there. But it was still keeping. I'm gonna wait for the inside. I don't know if it's seeds too, so waiting for those tomatoes to ripen. On the side, these potatoes are looking good here. These other potatoes just fell and died, so I'm gonna also try to harvest these after the video and see if there are any potatoes in there. We did have rain before, right the day we left, so I don't know if that day it broke the stem, and then because it got a heat wave, it just killed the plant. But we're gonna find out if there's anything in there still. This squash, all the squash is really growing really big. This is the green stalk. These guys have some peppers on them, and I'm also gonna try to harvest these carrots and the carrots in the raised beds, since everything is looking so crowded in here, to get some airflow and hopefully not be so I don't make an environment that's favorable for fungal disease and etc. So I'm going to try to clear this up a bit. I have some corn growing there. Eggplant's doing good in here too. So cilantro, I really want to flower there. Tomatillo is doing great. The puma peppers, finally are starting to set some peppers. Look at that, lots of them. So I'm very excited to try. I haven't ever tried them. I keep seeing these in other garden tours that I really want. It's one of my things I've been expecting to taste the most. I love the foliage, and I can't wait to see how pretty those peppers are going to be too. Small flowers in here. I have to take those beans out of there. I left them there because we had visits, and I even just need to move it out. That's not supposed to live there. There's some squash I put it from seed in here. Could put tomatoes on this side, and then that squash and that corn is doing well too. So just have to make some time to clear things up here. This sweet shards is looking really big, which is really good. Growing a lot since we left. It's beautiful. So once I clear these carrots in here, should give it some more space to breathe in here too. With this yellow shard, it's doing really good. To see how it's those are some. I don't want anything to start getting sick below there, so I really gotta start trying to clear this up a bit. This is construction for my street, but look at this sunflower. It bloomed different while we were gone. There's another one right there. It is pretty tall. It has passed our fence here, so I have to raise up to try to touch it. But so pleased, it's so pretty. There's another one doing really good here. Can't wait to see the bloom. I think that one is a yellow one, but I'm not sure. The other one might also be a red. We got this eggplant here that I actually put on this table, so it's easier for me to harvest. This is probably the ideal size to pick it, so, and it feels, it's not as firm anymore, so it feels good. I'm gonna definitely harvest this and maybe a couple more. This plant was full of flowers. We did have a lot of rain. Hopefully they got pollinated, but I want to make sure I keep harvesting, so the plant will keep trying to send flowers and be productive. Same with this pepper here. Put it up here. These mulatas are going to be harvested. I'm going to take almost all of them because I see a lot of new flowers, so encourage production as well. Even though this I could wait for this to get red, and I say it will look really funny in food, but I'm gonna do it anyways, so I keep this plant productive for a long time. On this side of the green stalk, there's lots of beans. Like these guys here. This plant got really big and just looking really good. I might have to harvest those too. And this nice sweet chard that's getting shaded by the beans, but doesn't seem to be hurting. It's still looking really good, so that's a good sign. There's raspberry in there, and this little overview. Look at these tomatoes. I've been out here for a while, so I'm assuming they will get ripened really soon. Can't wait to taste them. But that'll be it. It's drizzling, and I'll have to go inside soon. And then when it stops raining, I'll go ahead and go to the pot garden and show how everything is looking over there on that side. Hey everyone, I am inside. It's been raining on and off, so I haven't been to the pot yet, but I was super excited to harvest all the things that I showed a little earlier. And let me just show, look at this. It's a super big basket. I'm gonna show it from a little closer. Let's check this out. This is everything that I harvested. I'm going to also make carrot top pesto with all of this carrot top, so I'm not going to waste anything. And I have the eggplants that I said I was going to grab. I'm just so excited. And this is of the silver slicer. You could have grown a little bigger to get the bottom more uniform, but I wanted to try. I've never tried it, so I was very excited. The carrots that I said I was going to take it out because the beds are crowded are actually much bigger. A couple of those are from the green stalk too, a few of those. But I'm very pleased. It's really cool to see actually how much they have grown there. Got a couple bell peppers that I also forgot to show earlier, and the buena mulatas that I said I was going to get, and a couple of green peppers. Same that I harvested the other day. I think I showed on the tours. They grew pretty big again. I want to keep harvesting. But that's it. Look how cool it looks. How cool it is. Oh, the kohlrabi too. This was in the green stalk, and I really want my peppers to start doing better on the green stalk. So I decided to take the kohlrabi out because it has this very nice leaves, and it was just shading everything. But I wish I was doing this outside, but it's raining, so I have to show everything inside. But I'm very excited, and I hope I can shoot a little video of me cooking this. I'm not sure if I get a chance to, but that will be pretty good. I'm gonna definitely make pesto. There's basil on the pot garden, a lot of leaves that I'm gonna get there, so I'm gonna mix the carrot tops with some basil leaves and make carrot top pesto. And that way I can freeze it too. Pesto freezes really well, so I can preserve all of these beautiful leaves in here. And probably the leaves for the cauliflower and the kohlrabi, I might just really slice it really thin and saute it with garlic and olive oil, a little bit of lemon at the end, so you can eat that as well. I don't like to waste anything. Or if I don't get a chance, I sometimes get them washed well, and I just blend them as smoothies in the morning, so make sure that I'm eating them and getting all the nutrition from these greens. But this is it. How cool is that? Little harvest. I'll see if I'll have some more things to grab in the pot garden, but just wanted to show you guys this real quick. The grapevine is getting really big. We have a few grapes inside there. Looking nice. It's raining, so I'm just gonna go briefly in here. So this is how everything is looking on this side. Lots of growth. I have a zinnia. There's about to open over here. Some sunflowers getting a little bit bigger. Times flowering is looking very nice. The zinnias looking really nice here too. Corn on that side. This sunflower is really getting pretty big. So we're gonna walk fast because of the rain. Still drizzling. The squash here is really picking up. All of them. It's looking nice and big. And this one, look at these leaves. Those are beautiful, so big here too. I don't see any flowers. I feel like maybe a critter, like a squirrel or something. Hoping that a rat comes and eats the flowers because it's unusual that it's so green and there's no flowers. But we'll see. There's some more corn. And they have corn in here. I need to come and tend this corn when the rain stops. Try to find some time. Just right now that's drizzling lightly. I just want to make sure I have time to film this so I don't get my camera wet. But more squash here. Some tomatillos there in the background. Alright, and the tomatoes here. It's a lot of rain, so we know that sometimes a lot of water is not very good for the tomato leaves. But they're growing. They're not growing as fast as I thought they would, but they're getting there. Sunflower, they're looking good. This is the pepper bed. There are a few new things here. We transplanted this pepper that was in our pot. The ones that are in our pot to the garden here. Same with the sushitos, and apparently this it really liked its new home because I had just harvested all of the sushitos before we left, and now it has a lot of peppers again. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest this today too. Marigolds looking really nice. Some of the other peppers here, they took off, and my neighbor came here and planted a few new ones in the little spots. Let's see how those guys will do this time. It's all here, all new. And over here we have the beans, and the beans are really going like crazy. So the carrots that I said I was going to do carrot pesto, I'm going to, yeah, they're starting to flower, so I need to come here and just pinch the tops of all of this basil here. And I'm going to see when it's like this, I'm going to pinch the top, so if it goes to flower, it changes the flavor, and the plant will just go to seed and it will die. So keep your basil growing productive, you need to pinch the tops off. So you can see some flowers. There was not, I should have bought a basket. So much. So this with the carrot tops, I'm gonna become some pesto, and pesto is great because you can freeze if you can't eat all in the week. So I have a lot more to go. I can't hold the camera and keep picking, so I'll do that on my way back. There's a lot more there in the back. These tomatoes, they're not looking very great, but they're producing fruit. So I'm gonna also tomorrow when the rain stops come over here and prune things. Those beans really grew a lot. And look at that, this is a squash here, this is Mr. Squash. This other squash is full of flowers. Look at that. I put a little trellis in here to go up, and it has already gone up, and still sent a side branch there that went outside, so I went ahead and actually put it on the fence on the other side, so it keeps growing up and doesn't go just in the ground over there. But kind of incredible how fast this is growing. The zinnias are doing amazing. They're so beautiful. They're definitely my favorite zinnias in the garden. These are the queen limes. And remember last week they're not looking very great, they're looking a little funny, but they just even out and they're looking gorgeous. So happy I got them. Alright, the rain's starting to pick up, so I gotta get going here. But this is a potato bed. Pepper is doing really good in this bed. Picked up quite well from last week. Those are all new. And over here, the used to be a compost pile. Now, you know, it's getting a bit wild over there too. Lots of squash growing in it. I can't even reach to throw stuff on that side. But whoa. Let's see what kind of squashes are going to come out of this. So it was jungle already, but I see a sunflower in there, which I'm happy about, and 2 more sunflowers in there. There's even tomato back there. But this is kind of surreal jungle over here. And this is a 3-sister bed. We have some squash coming up in Sunday tendrils, so I think I might try to get this squash to grow up that sunflower. I don't know. Maybe not, I won't be heavy enough. I'll think about it. But it's already coming off here. So I need to do something, and I want it to go on the ground. So tomorrow I'll come over and more squash, beans, and corn. So this is going to be a 3-sister. Obviously there's a lost tomato in here and another one here. Tomatoes are not doing very great. Maybe there's one there too. I think, yeah, there is. I might even cut this up once they dried out. They're full of fruit, but not looking super healthy. So I need to come here too and look at that. Sheesh. Trim these leaves and stake the tomatoes. Same happened with this. I didn't come for a full week because I was traveling. I told you guys, so that's what happens. It gets a bit wild. But I had help in the front yard garden, plus my things are not as densely together. But the things that are not, doesn't have that much space to grow, these ones have space, so they're really trying to get there. And beans are doing nice growing over there. On the edges, a scarecrow for the rats and squirrels. More beans in here. Let's see. Well, it's loaded. It's a lot of little green beans. Great. Well, there's a couple that are ready to pick. This is a great size to pick, so I'm going to go ahead pick this one. Look at that. And this one can go another day. If you let your beans, they really grow fast, so if you see something that's ready to pick, you should probably pick a day off. The next day it will be too big and you tend to get a bit more fibrous, so good thing it came. So this one is good. And leeks growing here. This leek's kind of getting taken over by the beans, but it's really big, so I'm gonna harvest that probably this week. The other ones in the back still got a little time to go. There's some okra right there in the middle that's doing good. I started that from seed inside, so I have a tag. But let's see, I really like okra, so I'm very excited. Oh, look at all those mushrooms. Look at that. Tons of mushrooms around. Mushrooms are actually good for garden beds, so if you see them, it's okay to leave unless you have dogs or kids who don't want them to eat it, because you obviously don't know if they're poisonous or not. But other than that, they're great. There's a great sign in your garden if you get mushrooms in your beds. And then cucumber, going kind of on here. I see some flowers for the beans. This probably is the Chinese little bean. Let's see if there's no cucumbers in here. Oh, there's a, well, I don't know if this got pollinated or not. I hope it did, because the flower is not there anymore. But yeah, a little wild in here. Let's see, there's a little, I will trim it off. Hopefully, but actually it will look a little neater. This one's looking pretty healthy. Then more beans in here, mostly with flowers still. Oh no, there's some beans. Oh shit. Look at that. There's some beans. Alright, so oops. 3 beans so far. Oops, I got 2 by accident. It's alright, they're both kind of okay. So, alright, that means that I should go after. My camera's getting wet, so I really need to get going. It's over there, but overall, everything's looking really good. That's good progress from last week and from not being intended. Oh, look at that. So I'm gonna harvest this little pepper because it's touching the ground. And zinnias are supposed to be looking lambs, the pretty ones like that. Let's see if they will turn into those beautiful. This tomatillo, wow, I just noticed this. It's like a jungle. It really got over here. It's taking over. I love green salsa, so I hope it does well. That one, it's been big, but I don't see a lot of fruit on them. So lots of flowers still. There's still plants in there because they need a different plant to pollinate. So hopefully they're doing okay. Otherwise, I'll probably come and hand pollinate when the rain stops too. But overall, that's it. This is how my little urban jungle is looking. Here, a few other smaller things in here. Over there, the lilies are getting to the end of this lighthouse. Actually, there's not a lot more light now that this grapevine really took over. And let's see if we can see those grapes from inside. There are a few grapes. There is the light. See all those grapes in there? And this guy over here. So cool. Well, hopefully they do well. They ripen so we can pick some grapes, ferment them, eat some fresh, but also ferment some. That is looking pretty good. More than I expected. Very nice. Oh, look at that. Cool. And that's it. This is the little visual of the plot garden now in first week of July. That's how the garden is looking. It's gonna get its peak really, really soon.